a message from New Zealand.
One thing you should expect in New Zealand.
Oh, that's a good question.
We had the meanest seafood.
Fish and chips, expect that everywhere, every town.
Like there's dinosaurs.
I was going to say jandals, but I don't wear jandals.
Amazing landscapes.
Hobbit.
Ka kite I te atāhua o te tangata, ka kite I te atāhua o te whenua.
One thing in New Zealand that you should expect to see is acceptance.
It's a very kind place, New Zealand.
You can leave your washing out on the line without it going walkabout.
新西兰人不管多冷的天气都会穿短裤和短袖。
The vibes are great.
There's no snakes.
People embrace you just the way you are.
You can't see it. You only can feel it.
New Zealand is just real chill and I love it.
Hello everyone, this is Robin here again from Chan Brothers and welcome to another episode of Travel Tales Comes Alive. Today we are actually going to New Zealand, specifically the Canterbury region of New Zealand, which is on the South Island. I believe some of you have looked at our poll because New Zealand is not just a place of beauty, but it's a place of things that you can do, a lot of interesting activities. And this is something which we'll be talking about today. We gave you all two choices, which is actually the scenic flight and of course stargazing. But before we get to that, I would like to introduce to you our guest today, who is our New Zealand specialist, and that is actually Stephen Dixon. Hi, Stephen.
Kia ora, everyone. Good evening.
Manager from Tourism New Zealand. Welcome to our show. Okay, before we see the poll results, what would be your choice between the scenic flight or stargazing?
Can I choose both? Because I was thinking about this actually. I mean, what I'd want to do would be enjoy the scenic flight during the day, looking at the beautiful scenery, and then revisit it at nighttime and look at the stars.
Wow, great. Okay, I just saw the poll results. We actually have the majority choosing the stargazing option. Well, personally, actually, I will either one. I would love to try both as well. Oh, with me today, of course, is Kiwi Chan, our little mascot here as well. So hi, Stephen. This is Kiwi Chan. I believe you also have a little something,
Well, I do. I just found an All Blacks rugby ball was just sitting on the desk here at work. So it'll be my little toy for the show.
All right, great. So why New Zealand? What makes New Zealand so inviting to people?
How much time have I got to answer that question? It's always a tricky one. Look, I think New Zealand is, I think, we're pretty well known for our stunning sort of epic landscapes and I guess wide open spaces and a variety of things to do in New Zealand. I mean, New Zealand really does offer various experiences depending on the preference and kind of the type of travel interest that people might have. What's unique is that a lot of those experiences are quite close proximity to each other. So it's really easy to transition from one experience to the other in a really short space of time. Yeah. But what truly makes New Zealand stand out, I think, is the way that New Zealanders warmly welcome visitors to our country. And that's what seems to kind of resonate with visitors. So people come to New Zealand as visitors, and they leave as what we call whānau or family and part of New Zealand.
It has been quite some time since my last visit to New Zealand. And yes, I remember it as a very, very welcoming place. I really felt at home when I was in New Zealand. Well, to our viewers who have just joined us here, of course, today we're talking about New Zealand. We are going down to the South Island, which is in Canterbury. But before we proceed, don't forget to like and share this video because we have exciting gifts to give away. We actually have 2 goodie bags to give away. And also during this show, if you pay attention, we actually have some questions and answers coming up. And yeah, we have a nice gift sponsored by Tourism New Zealand as well. All right, so talking about the South Island and of course Canterbury, we cannot avoid talking about one of the most biggest city there, and that will be Christchurch. Why Christchurch? What makes Christchurch so special to you?
It's actually the oldest city in New Zealand. It was established in 1865. Christchurch it's a special place for me. I lived in Christchurch prior to moving offshore. and it's a wonderful, wonderful city. I mean, you've got I think it's a really good example of what I described about kind of what makes New Zealand unique, because you've got Waipara vineyards, you've got fantastic coastline, and then you've got sort of the Southern Alps that are all sort of dramatic scenes, all really, really close proximity to each other. So it's quite unique in that sense.
It's a city, but yet not like a city like New York or Paris. It's something really cozy and traditional. And I also understand that a couple of years ago, there is something new, and this is, I think, something that will interest Singaporeans because it has to do with food. This place was established 2 years ago, and it's called the Riverside Market. We'll just let this short video introduce you to this wonderful new experience that you can try in Christchurch.
Little Fish Co. is essentially a purveyor of fresh seafood into the Riverside Market. I think it's easy to say that it's revitalised and re-energised the central city, and those that have been in here, I feel, get that energy when they come in. But I think, you know, it's an opportunity to Canterbury to sort of display its finest in the way of produce.
My bosses own a property out at Charing Cross. That's where we milk the sheep and we make our cheese. We try and have a great selection of local artisan cheeses from all around Canterbury. We also do sheep milk gelato ice cream, which has been massive.
Shopology is a design collective that has a whole heap of New Zealand and local designers. We have lots of New Zealand made products and Christchurch made products.
The idea came from the love that we have for ramen. Ramen is really just personal preference. Every shop in Japan, they do it differently. It's really cool, I think, the idea for Christchurch to see more of what ramen is about.
We started 35 years ago with a little table with the sellers and a little barbecue. Very, very happy to be here, and it's exciting, it's new, it's nice to have a sort of food community going as well.
Wow. I hope you had your dinner, because watching that video actually got me hungry. Food, of course, I say again, is a passion of Singaporeans, and I think any Singaporean visiting New Zealand would love to hunt and find interesting things to eat over there. But one question, is there such a thing as New Zealand cuisine?
Oh, it's a good question. Look, we're really proud of New Zealand cuisine. It is international cuisine at the same time, but I guess what kind of makes us stand out is really the produce. You know, everything is locally sourced and locally grown, and that whole sort of farm to table kind of concept that's, you know, taking up, you know, off worldwide, is something that we grew up with as children in New Zealand. So for me, my mum and dad used to grow our fruit and veggies in the garden, and that would be our staple diet. So it's about the produce, the quality of the produce. We're also a couple of, well, more than two, but a number of small islands in the bottom of the world, surrounded by a whole lot of ocean. So we actually have some of the freshest, the most delicious seafood in the world. I'm hungry now too.
Yeah, oh yeah. Seafood, I never really associated New Zealand with seafood. To me, it was always about the meats and all that. And I really remember on my previous trips, I really ate a lot of good New Zealand, especially farm food. Yeah, a lot of cream, a lot of cheeses, and a lot of lamb. All right, but what would be your recommendation if people were to go to the Riverside Market itself?
Ooh, that's a tricky one, but I think it actually appeared in the video. It would be Dimitri's. So Dimitri's is like an institution in Christchurch. It was founded in 1985, and I grew up in the countryside in the South Island of New Zealand, and we didn't have a lot of restaurants in those days in the countryside. So when we would go into the big smoke or the city of Christchurch, that would always be our first stop. So it's great to see that the legacy has remained, and they use a lot of local produce as well, and a lot of homemade sauces and things, and it's just really delicious.
Yeah, and of course, the Riverside Market is not just about food. I think in the video we also saw they also have some other local product, handicraft as well, right?
Absolutely,
so I would say that this is a great place for families to visit, and really New Zealand is a great destination for not just individuals or couples, but a great place for families. And of course, leading up to the next thing that you can actually do in Christchurch itself, I understand is something quite fun that the family and couples can enjoy, and that would be going down the Avon River on a punt. Maybe our viewers do not know what a punt is. Let's show them a video. So punting, I would say, is something like a gondola ride of sorts.
Correct. Punting's the process of pushing it along, and you sit in the gondola. It's a great activity. It's quite romantic, right? It's a great option for date day.
And you actually see not just the city, you actually go through, I think, one of the biggest parks in city parks in the world, which is located in Christchurch itself. It's a beautiful, the Avon River actually snakes through, is it called the Hagley North Park?
Yes, yeah, and it's a beautiful way to see the inner part of Christchurch, and also to kind of experience some of the flora and fauna that makes New Zealand so unique.
How long would the ride typically take?
It's just under 1 hour. It's about 50 minutes, and I think you can include up to around about 10 people. Okay, so,
it's not just like
take the whole game.
Yeah, so it's great for families as well. So going to New Zealand, of course, not just for couples to enjoy, but of course for families as well. And again, leading up to that, we have another interesting thing in Christchurch itself, which I hear is the International Antarctic Centre. I'm curious to know, why is there an Antarctic Centre located in Christchurch itself?
Okay, so there's 5 gateways into the Antarctic, and Christchurch is one of them. So Christchurch has actually played a really special role in the Antarctic exploration, expeditionary ships that used to go down, I guess, to the continent way back in 1900s. But this complex is a huge complex, and it was built for the administration of the US, New Zealand, and Italian programs, Antarctic programs. But now it gives the visitors also an opportunity to learn about Antarctica in quite a fun and interactive sort of way.
Yeah, I think, and it's also fairly easy to get to because it's located close to the airport. This place, I would think it's really good for families as well, as you can see in this short little video clip that we're going to share with everyone.
Kia ora Singapore, kia ora Chan Brothers. My name's Todd Schmidt, I'm the General Manager here at International Antarctic Centre. And with me I've got Thea and Finny and Seku, beautiful huskies, and obviously, hopefully in the back swimming behind me we've got our little blue and white clipped penguins. This is where we host our penguin breakfast, which Chan Brothers have supported us for a number of years. Me and the team, we can't wait to have you back in New Zealand when our borders open and the world returns to some normality. But in the meantime, join us for our virtual tour, and again, we can't wait to have you back, and stay safe.
Calling me.
Wow, that looks like a lot of fun. I think families will really enjoy a visit to the Antarctic Centre. And for those of you who have been to New Zealand with Chan Brothers before, you know that we actually include having breakfast with the penguins there in our recent programs. Of course, just before the pandemic, all of us are dying to travel again. Okay, but before we continue, I hope you have been really paying attention. We are going to have our first Q&A, and you get a chance to actually win. One lucky winner will get a chance to win something sponsored by Tourism New Zealand. And it's this little goodie bag here, sponsored by Tourism New Zealand. Okay, what's inside? We have lots and lots of local stuff. We have, of course, my favorite candy. Maybe something for Stephen here is a bottle of wine.
Some of the world's best Pinot Noir.
Of course, we have other things like this really fancy umbrella from Tourism New Zealand. All right. To get this goodie bag that's worth about $250, all you need to do is to answer a simple question. We are giving you 1 minute. So if you have been paying attention, okay, which Christchurch market can you enjoy local delicacies? It's an easy answer, so all you need to key in. Don't forget to of course, like and share this video as well. We're going to start the timer now. You have 1 minute. All right, so 1 minute to answer. And while we are waiting for our audience to actually, key in their answers, maybe you would like to share other things that Christchurch has to offer, other than the three things that we mentioned.
Oh, there's so much. There's so much that Christchurch has to offer, whether it's swimming with the dolphins over in Akaroa, or the afternoon hot air ballooning. Well, what I used to love doing was actually going into the mountains in the morning and playing in the snow and snowboarding and tubing, etc., and then going out to the beach in the afternoon and having lunch with my family. And just that transition is really, really fun.
Yeah, I mean, Christchurch is a wonderful place to experience, and I also can't wait to go back there. All right, we have about 10 seconds left. Hopefully you have a winner soon. You are counting down now. All right, 4, 3, 2, 1. And okay, our team here will be finding a lucky winner. We should have the name soon shortly. Okay, congratulations, Alex Leong. Our team will be contacting you on how you can actually pick up your prize. Congratulations. Okay, talking about, moving on from Christchurch, actually, we talk about Christchurch being a city, but people who go to New Zealand, they actually go there for its natural beauty, what it has to offer in terms of nature. And one of the most exciting and beautiful regions I've heard is the Lake Tekapo region, which is actually not too far from Christchurch. I heard it's about an hour and a half drive.
About 1.5 hours, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I think one way to really explore New Zealand is driving around, but you're saying it's challenging, or is it easy?
It's different. When I say it's challenging, it's just the roads are different to Singapore. The roads that we have here in Singapore, the road rules are slightly different, but it's a fantastic way, a flexible way for you to be able to explore New Zealand, and particularly the South Island. Some spectacular landscapes.
Yeah, and there's no ERP there, right?
There is no ERP, correct.
All right, so talking about Lake Tekapo, what are some of the things that we can do there at the lake itself or in the region? What are some of the
Yeah, well, I used to spend quite a lot of time there when I was based in Christchurch. I would head through there and go snowboarding or skiing, but you don't have to be a skier or a snowboarder to enjoy the mountains. In the winter months, they've got tubing, as I mentioned before. So you go down a slope that it's about 150. It's a really, really fun family activity. And you can, spend the afternoon doing that and then kind of warm up in some of the hot pools that they have there. So at Lake Tekapo, they've got the alpine fed hot pools that are heated then up to about 28 to 40 degrees. So it makes for quite a nice warm up, I guess.
Yeah, I think these are things that we can really experience. Of course, earlier on in the poll, we gave our audience actually two choices. We were talking about taking a scenic flight and stargazing. These are things that we're going to touch on soon. First of all, on scenic flights, we actually have a collaboration with Air Safaris. And let's have a look at the video of what they have to share with us.
Hi, Singapore and Chan Brothers Travel. Greetings from New Zealand. Thank you for your time with us today. I'm Momo from Air Safaris Lake Tekapo, New Zealand. Today, me and my colleague are going to share with you some information about Lake Tekapo and our company Air Safaris. Many of you probably already know that Lake Tekapo is a place that you must visit when you travel in New Zealand. Here we have turquoise blue glacial lake and snowy mountains, as you can see here behind me. We also have beautiful looping flowers in summertime and beautiful dark skies for stargazing. Here we just have so much to do in this area, and I'm sure you don't want to miss it out. Now I'm going to hand over to my colleague Leon to take you flying over our highest mountains and longest glaciers. Enjoy your flight of a lifetime. Thank you!
Hi everyone, it's Leon here from Air Safaris New Zealand. We're based here in Lake Tekapo and Franz Joseph in the South Island of New Zealand. Lake Tekapo is located in between Christchurch and Queenstown. It's a must-do place to stop on your travels. And our West Coast base, Franz Joseph, located in the west coast of New Zealand, home to the glacier country. Here at Air Safaris, we offer airplane flights as well as helicopter flights. So here I am sitting in the compartment that you'll be sitting in our helicopter. Nice and spacious, room for plenty of people, and your own nice window. This helicopter could take you up to some of our magnificent alpine mountains. We will get a snow or alpine landing, depending on the season which you visit us here at Air Safaris. Ride with us now as our helicopter pilot takes you to experience some of our landing locations.
Operating from Tekapo gives us a great chance of showing people so much different scenery with the lakes, the glaciers, right out to the west coast with Fox and friends.
Welcome back to Tekapo, folks. Hope you all really enjoyed your flight.
Our Grand Traverse flight here at Air Safaris is world famous. It's a 45 to 50 minute experience where we take you on the flight of a lifetime. Not only do you see New Zealand's highest mountain, Tekapo Mt Cook, or the second highest, Mount Tasman, but you see some of our longest glaciers, the Tasman, the Murchison, Fox and Franz Joseph, as well as 176 small hanging glaciers in the Mt Cook National Park. Turquoise blue lakes, braided rivers, and just pure amazement. Follow me now as we head on the flight of a lifetime. Right guys, I'm ready now, so just make sure your seatbelts are all secure. Sit back, relax, and come with me on a virtual tour of the Air Safaris Grand Traverse flight. I hope you enjoy. Great. We will be getting airborne very shortly.
Charlie Oscar's rolling, Tekapo 1-1 to climb out to the north. Below we've got the large braided river system of the Godley Valley. Coming past on the right is aLIVE Mt Cook.
guys. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your experience today. We hope we can see you yourself here very soon, so you can experience the flight of a lifetime for yourself here at Air Safaris New Zealand, a family owned and operated company operating here since 1970.
Wow, I think the video speaks for itself. The scenery is just so stunning. The views are, really amazing. But when is really the best time to actually visit this region?
I was just actually surprised. I didn't realize that there were 176 hanging glaciers. I should have known that one. It's a year-round product, so you can enjoy it any time of the year. But it is recommended to go during winter, New Zealand winter. It's going to be a little bit cooler, but the weather is generally more settled. You're going to have better visibility, and of course, there's going to be more snow on the mountains.
Yeah, I think snow is something that we are all dying to experience. It has been, for me, it's been about 1 year since I've seen snow, and I really miss it already. But of course, winter time, people associate winter with shorter days, and sometimes people say shorter days means less time for, enjoying the nature. But I believe that shorter days also really allows us to enjoy something special in this region, and that would be the dark skies. And I would say that the other option that we gave, stargazing, is best viewed in the winter season where we have longer darkness. That'd be better, right?
Correct.
So why don't we take a look at what there's this special project called the Dark Sky Project and what it has to offer.
Kia ora, Chan brothers, and welcome to our home here in Lake Tekapo, New Zealand. Here at the Dark Sky Project, we take our visitors to observe the beautiful southern skies at one of our 3 astronomy centres based around the area. We're also fortunate to have 2 restaurants, one above the clouds on Mount John and the other on the lakefront. But don't take my word for it, we let the images in our night sky speak for itself. We know that being able to travel seems far away right now, but as soon as we can't wait to welcome you to our home. Over the years, we've welcomed hundreds of thousands of visitors from all over the world and can't wait to welcome Chan Brothers customers once more. Here's a brief example of what your customers can expect when they visit us.
I want to tell you a story, 13.8 billion years in the making. It's the journey mai te pō ki te ao, from darkness to light. First there was te pō, a total darkness. But over the next 400 million years, glimmers of light appeared. Te ao. The story of our universe comes with the greatest picture book ever. And the pages of this book open as the sun sets. And there is no place in the world better to view it than here at Tekapo, in the heart of Te Waipounga, the South Island. So tonight, when the stars are burning bright, take a look up at the world's oldest story. The night sky is our home.
Amazing, right? It's so beautiful at night there. But I think Singaporeans have also heard that New Zealand is also a place to catch the Southern Lights. Maybe you'd like to share something about that as well?
Yeah, I might maybe just take a step back for a start and just, I mean, the whole area there in the Aoraki, Mackenzie country is the largest dark sky reserve in the world, with over 4,300 square kilometers of, I guess it's free of light pollution. So it's absolutely spectacular part of New Zealand and part of the world to be able to see the stars. And obviously during winter, as you mentioned, it's probably the best time to go. It's also when the Milky Way is the most prominent, and the Southern Lights, or the Aurora Australis, can appear, and it's really small bursts of color, and it's often quite low, but it's not guaranteed. So what we would sort of suggest is definitely go down there, definitely experience one of the products like the Dark Sky project, and if you're lucky, you also might get to see the Southern Lights. So kind of 2 for 1 maybe, or 1 for 1 as we say here in Singapore.
Well, I think I've been quite lucky. I've managed to see the Northern Lights, but I also want to see the Southern Lights as well. So I can't wait to actually go back to New Zealand to have a chance to see the Southern Lights. All right, moving on from this region, we saw during the earlier video that we could take the scenic flight from Lake Tekapo to actually Mount Cook itself. Have you actually been to the top of Mount Cook yourself?
Yes. Not climbing though, by helicopter. we circled it. Yeah, I did actually a really cool experience there. Yeah.
Yeah, Mount Cook is really, I think, considered one of the major landmarks of New Zealand. It is the highest peak, and it is also one of the must visits when you actually visit the Canterbury region of New Zealand. But of course, other than just Mount Cook itself, we were talking about the glaciers, so we're going to share a video with you on the Tasman Glacier experience that you can actually enjoy when you are in this region. Wow. Have you tried that too?
I have tried that, and it's absolutely amazing. It's a really, really cool experience and great for families, as you saw.
Yeah, I think New Zealand is really a place really for families, and it's great to explore this region with your family because it's just so much to see. I remember as a kid, I think my first visit to New Zealand, I was a geography student, and everything I learned in my geography book I could see in New Zealand. That was really so enriching for me as a child when I visited New Zealand at that time. Okay, so I hope you all have been paying attention because we are coming to our second Q&A segment. If you have been paying attention, the question is very simple. From where can you take the scenic flight to Mount Cook? From where you can take the scenic flight to Mount Cook? And you have 1 minute. Of course, we have a trolley bag to give away for this Q&A. We are going to pick one lucky winner. So the minute starts now. All right, so while we are waiting for you to key in your answer, I think we had some questions from our audience earlier on. I'm not too sure if you know the answer. Someone was asking when is the best time to see lupin flowers, because I think in one of the videos, the lady was talking about lupin flowers. Is there a season for that?
Spring and summer, yeah. Lupin flowers come out then, and they are absolutely spectacular. The only problem for me is that I'm allergic to them.
So and when you say spring and summer, which months would that be? Because it's reversed.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Do we have seasons in Singapore? So spring and summer. So New Zealand spring would be September, October, November, and then summer is December, January, February. During those months, and they are truly spectacular to look at as well.
Yeah, I've seen lupins myself, and they are really quite pretty. All right, we are coming to. Oops. All right. Are we? Okay. Wait. There's a little technical because I lost my counter, but I think
maybe I can just talk about. Should I just talk about? And I just remembered another experience that I had while we're still in Mount Cook, and it was actually the last activity that I did before I left New Zealand.
Okay. Anyway, we'll wait for the winner to be chosen. So yeah, I think they are picking the winner for the question, and I think we have one soon. Okay, while they do that, what would you say? We were talking about the Canterbury region so far. Oh, we got a lucky winner, and our winner is actually Reina To. Congratulations, Reina! One of our team will be contacting you on how to pick up your trolley luggage. All right, of course, where you can take the scenic flight to see Mount Cook is from Lake Tekapo, and of course, that's just one of the many places you can actually do that. So, talking again about the Canterbury region. What strikes you as, the number one highlight of this region to you personally? Or what?
The number one.
Look,
I think
it's everything, right, for you.
It is everything for me. Yes. I mean, I think what we've talked about already is just we've summarized all of the different types of activities, all of the different landscapes, and we've highlighted the fact that it's all really close and really easy, and also that self-drive is a great way to be able to explore this region at the same time.
Yeah, so we have Christchurch, we have small towns that they can visit, relatively easy to drive around. That's what makes this region such a family-friendly place to visit. Yeah. Okay, we're coming a little bit to the end of our video, but before we do that, a couple of years ago, before the pandemic, Chan Brothers actually had a collaboration with Tourism New Zealand, and we went down to film, and we came up with this very nice video called Experience New Zealand with the 5 Senses, which we would like to share with everyone now.
Chan Brothers Travel and Tourism New Zealand proudly present Experience New Zealand anew with your 5 senses. Inhale. Gaze. Feel. Listen. New Zealand is just better with Chan Brothers Travel.
So the video is about the 5 senses, but my 6th sense is telling me that what is on most people's mind is about traveling to New Zealand. And perhaps you'd like to share what are your hopes for New Zealand when it comes to opening up again to welcoming travelers like from Singapore and around the world back to New Zealand?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously right now, New Zealand and the world, we're going through a really challenging time, and New Zealand borders are closed to international visitors. But, New Zealand are we're very conscious about tourism. Tourism's a big part of New Zealand, and the reason that's a big part of our culture is because we love to welcome people to New Zealand. And we call that manaakitanga, and that's essentially the art of welcoming people. And I think Singaporeans are equally as good at that, and I experience that here in Singapore all the time. So the borders will open, new experiences are currently being developed in New Zealand all the time. So there'll be even more to see and do at the time of when the borders will open again.
Yeah, I think that's really on everyone's mind about when we can travel, and we really look to New Zealand welcoming us back as travelers to this beautiful country. We are coming to an end of our video. I hope you all have remembered to like and share, because we are giving away 2 goodie bags as well, sponsored by Tourism New Zealand to 2 lucky winners. We'll contact you once this live session is over. Thank you again for coming. But before we go, Stephen, would you like to share some final words to our viewers here?
Yeah, look, I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you to the audience. Thank you for everyone that has tuned in. I've certainly enjoyed it. I hope you have. I hope you've learned a little bit more about New Zealand. I hope you're even more inspired to now visit our country. And I think I can speak on behalf of Kiwis, behalf of New Zealanders, to say that we are, we're really excited about welcoming you back to our country when the time is right and when we can once again enjoy some time together. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for being with us. And of course, today we only talked about the Canterbury region. New Zealand is a lot more than that. And we hope to have you maybe back again in the future where we can share a lot more of what New Zealand has to offer. So thank you again. And thank you, everyone, from us, of course, from Kiwi Chan and from your little rugby ball. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you. Have a prosperous new year, and see you. Everyone, goodbye.
Goodbye. Ka kite anō.